Oh,
Got you. I feel guilty in a way because it is a living creature, isn't it? But hello, welcome back.
Oh,
Hell no.
hello.
Hello. Okay, right. Take two. Hello again, and welcome back to Lessons in Property with me, Steve Hand. This week, I've got Chelsea with me, one of our bridging and development advisors. I'm going to talk about speed, and that's because bridging is synonymous with speed. People have got deadlines to adhere to. Quite often they're buying at auctions or they've agreed a price that's off market, but there's a deadline and they need to make that deadline. And if they don't make that deadline, then the price might change. Let's talk about that for a moment, Chelsea. What would you say is, I don't know, a typical case? Like, how much time are you usually given to get a case through?
Depends really. If it's an auction purchase, it's typically 28 days.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it can be 14 days.
Yeah.
Modern auctions are 56.
Right.
But then usually with bridging finance anyway, the reason they're doing that is for speed.
Yeah.
So just as soon as possible. Usually it takes around 4 to 5 weeks with the majority of lenders. Then there are a couple of lenders that do work even quicker than that. So it just depends on the actual how we structure the deal,
Yeah.
the project itself, and how quickly the vendor wants to complete.
Because you get all sorts of cases, don't you? You've got speed, which is the driving factor, but you might have things like, I don't know, failed EPC, so it's unmortgageable. Mm-hmm. And a lot of properties that you see on the market, not as a percentage, but quite a number of them, you can't get a mortgage on them. No. You know, they've got to be EPC E, D or above, haven't they?
Yeah, that's right.
So if it is like an F or it might have structural challenges that means that a mortgage lender can't put that mortgage on it straight away. So people either have to pay cash for it or get a bridging product on it.
To make it mortgageable.
Yeah. So sometimes, like, the vendor's not under as much pressure to sell within a certain deadline, are they?
No, not always.
So, you know, we can go with like a different range of lenders, but there's lenders that are specifically set up for speed.
Yes.
If you could talk us through, like, what makes them a better lender for speed than somebody else, for example?
Sometimes they'll do a desktop valuation or an AVM, which is an online valuation that can help speed it up for you. So obviously you're not going to need to have that valuation carried out.
Yeah.
Also, internal solicitors.
Yeah.
That can help speed it up quite a lot. I mean, we've had a case go through within a couple of days.
Yeah.
With one lender. That's how quickly it can be done.
That's fantastic, isn't it? So in those 2 days, what are they actually doing? Because they've still got to do some kind of valuation, haven't they? They've
Not
still
always,
got to.
because
they
can't. Well, yeah, with the desktop valuation,
Yeah, they've got to underwrite it to a degree, haven't they?
Yeah.
And still do some legal work on it. So there's still the three main factors with dealing with a bridging case that lenders have to do. They've still got to do, but I guess they're streamlining it a lot, aren't they?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They get the case in, like I was chatting through with Emma on the last episode, and they get the case in, they review it, so they'll do like a bit of an underwrite there, and then they'll quote for the valuation.
Yeah.
I guess we give the client, don't we, the cost of the valuation, the cost of the lender's legal fees, and then the valuation will be carried out, however which way that's done. And then the lender will issue a formal offer, and once they've issued that formal offer, then the legal work's done.
Yeah.
But sometimes the legal work can take like a day or two, can't they? I guess clients get frustrated at times because they think, like, why is mine taking 6 weeks or 8 weeks when my friends or my colleagues' bridge took like 3 days?
Yeah. Thing is, sometimes the rate can be a little bit higher with the lenders that can work quicker.
Yeah.
So it depends on your circumstances, your situation, what property we use as security for the loan.
Right.
If it's a property that you already own and it's just a capital raise against that property, that can go through quicker than if it was a purchase, if you're securing against a property that you're buying.
Yeah.
So obviously that will determine how quickly it can go through as well.
Yeah.
And obviously if you're more rate driven, you want the cheapest rate, that lender might not work as quick as other lenders that do offer a higher rate. So that's probably why.
If speed's not the driving factor, you can be a bit more savvy over the rate, can't you? A bit more choosy over that interest rate. And understandably, clients are going to go for the least cost option, you know, get those rates and fees down. But sometimes with scenarios, like we've come across it a bit, haven't we, where clients have negotiated a fantastic price and it might be 20%, 30% below market value, but that's on the basis quite often that they get it through really quick.
Yeah.
And that's where, as a broker, we've got to have that knowledge, haven't we, and know that where are we going, and the relationship as well with the lender. Where are we going? Which lenders can we choose from now that it's got got to be through within, say, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Right, let's target those lenders. Now let's look at the rate, but the main factor there is who can get the job done, who can deliver it.
Yeah. Again, with them lenders that do work quicker than others, they don't lend against the market value sometimes, or they'll not lend the refurb money on top. So if you are looking at buying below market value and raising as much as possible that way, and borrowing money for the refurb on top as well, you are restricted to some lenders, so they won't work as quick as the other lenders.
Right,
you know, that can do it within a week or two usually.
Yeah, you can't have everything, I guess, can you?
No.
You got to decide with all those factors, like what's the most important things, and then you as an advisor will then filter those things out, and then it leaves us with, say, I don't know, 3 to 5 really good lenders, and then out of those 3 to 5, it's like, right, who can deliver it? What's your rates? Who have we got trust in as well that it can go through?
Yeah, and ease of documentation. You know, whether they ask a lot of questions or not, because some lenders, they might ask more questions than others.
Yeah.
Especially if the banks, they might be more strict, so they'll ask more questions. So again, if you want more of a smoother process, we might put it with a different lender because of that as well.
Yeah, fantastic. So that's it for this week. Thank you, Chelsea.
No worries.
That's great. Until next time, see you then.